Hello, and welcome to Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Daniel Pineda. We have a great program this week. We have our news stories, community bulletin board, and 55 plus news. But first, a social media reminder. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Also on Facebook and WERA 96.7 FM. And now on to our first news story for this week. Arlington County's COVID case site reported data as of September 6th. The total case count on that day was 59,804, a one-week increase of 433. As for vaccinations, we examined Arlington County's vaccination tracker on September 8th, but the promised weekly update had not been done. As of August 27th, 204,717 eligible Arlingtonians have received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine. They show that figure as 85.3% of their estimated eligible population of 240,119 Arlingtonians. 35,404 Arlingtonians, now including young children, remain unvaccinated as of August 27th. Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for 5 through 11-year-olds is still available at the following locations. Arlington Mill Community Center, that's located at 909 South Dinwiddie Street, and Walter Reed Community Center, that's located at 2909 16th Street South. Walk-ins for 5 through 11-year-olds are available Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. In addition, free Pfizer and Moderna COVID vaccines are available for children as young as 6 months by appointment only. For more information, consult the Arlington County website. There is a new option for Arlington residents and visitors who need an internet connection and privacy for virtual meetings. Arlington Public Library is opening the Teleconnect space at Columbia Pike Library in partnership with the Arlington County Department of Community Planning, Housing, and Development, CPHD, and the Department of Technology Services, DTS. The Teleconnect space is a single meeting room at the library branch that is outfitted with a hardwired computer equipped with web access to Zoom, Skype, and other video conferencing software. It also has a ring light to create a professional setting. The space is reserved for virtual meetings for specific purposes, including telehealth appointments, job interviews, social service appointments, health insurance sign-up, and college interviews. This new resource is part of the county's digital equity initiative to ensure all Arlington residents have affordable, reliable access to high-speed internet and the technology to fully participate in the community and economy with focus on connectivity, access, education and training, and program sustainability. The Teleconnect space may be booked online for 2 hours each day, up to 2 times per week. Anyone unable to make an online reservation may call Columbia Pike Library. That's 703-228-5710 for assistance. To make an online reservation, go to library.arlingtonva.us/teleconnect-space. Potential uses of the space include a person in a virtual support group meeting who would ordinarily meet from their car for privacy, a person with a large family who has a virtual college interview, a job seeker who lives in a group housing or with many family members and needs an uninterrupted interview, a LGBTQIA plus adult who needs a telehealth appointment but does not have a secure, private space at home to talk to a medical professional, and other possibilities. The Teleconnect space has frosted glass covering most of the outside and a white noise machine that helps provide audio privacy. Limited staff assistance is available for help with personal devices on the public Wi-Fi network. The Teleconnect space may not be used for paid work, paid tutoring, business meetings, online class attendance, in-person meetings, social events, or by for-profit organizations. Next up, a new location for the fall e-care drop-off. Arlington's next pop-up drop-off for household hazardous materials and old electronics is set up for Saturday, October 8th from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Wakefield High School, 1325 South Dinwiddie Street. Please note, metal items and bicycle donations will not be accepted during this first-time use of Wakefield. Vehicles should access the drop-off routing from South Columbus Street at South George Mason Drive. It's a good idea to speak with your neighbors ahead of time so you can combine loads and save trips. This event is for Arlington residents only. Of course, you don't need to wait for e-care to rid a home of aging goop and decreased clock radios. The county offers safe, easy drop-off, and even curbside options for proper disposal year-round. There is an online list of materials that will and will not be accepted. The website provides details on household hazardous materials such as paint, motor oil, and pesticides, metal and appliances, fluorescent lights, including CFLs, electronics, batteries, and a where does it go disposal guide for hundreds of item types.
A recent flurry of next-door reports concerning thefts from automobiles has convinced us to examine the crime situation in Arlington. Unfortunately, some of the available sources seem to be dated, and the crime statistics maps vary widely. Some maps suggest that the crime rate is highest in areas along the metro lines, with shopping centers being another magnet, but others show a less pronounced variance. BestPlaces.net compares Arlington with the United States overall, using a kind of crime index. They suggest that Arlington is slightly safer from violent crime because Arlington's index of 21.3 is less than the 22.7 from the U.S. overall. However, property crime is a different story. Arlington's index of 43.9 is considerably greater than the 35.4 for the U.S. The Arlington County Police Department also issues actual crime numbers, but only on an annual basis. They also list crimes against persons, as opposed to crimes against property, and only through 2021. The persons figure increased from 1,348 to 1,672 between 2020 and 2021, and the property figure increased from 5,558 to 5,971. We will have to wait until next year for the 2022 figures. That's enough news for this week. Now it's time for Community Bulletin Board, or CBB.
Hi, and welcome to CBB. Our first CBB event is for kids aged 2 to 10. It's called Nature, Craft, and Story. It's a chance for the kids to come and enjoy a story with a naturalist, and then they'll be able to create a craft related to the story. Finally, they'll meet a live animal. The cost is $5. You can register online through the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 612-912-V. That's on Tuesday, September 20th from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock a.m. at Long Branch Nature Center, 625 South Carlin Springs Road. Our next event is called Park Pop-Ups. It's recommended for families. You can meet a naturalist or historian and discover the nature and history of Arlington. The staff person may bring hands-on learning items, artifacts, or activities. The event is free, but it will be canceled if it rains. That's on Tuesday, September 20th, from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. at Quincy Park, 1021 North Quincy Street. The next event is for teens and adults. It's from the Arlington Public Library, and it's called Dear Band Author Letter Writing. It's a chance to write a letter or send an email to a banned or challenged author, sharing how their words have impacted you. The library will provide emails and addresses for authors of commonly banned books. You can enjoy tea and snacks while chatting about your favorite banned books and the freedom to read them. Be sure to RSVP for an event reminder. For more information, call 703-228-5710. For the current policies on masking, see the library operations update. You can register online through the library website. That's on Tuesday, September 20th, from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. at Columbia Pike Branch Library, 816 South Walter Reed Drive. Our next event is from the Arlington Library's Escapism Book Club. Take an escape with a romance and get to know Lana Harper, the author of Payback's a Witch, who will join in for a Zoom discussion of her book. Here's the book description. Emmy Harlow is a witch, but not a very powerful one, in part because she hasn't been home to the magical town of Thistle Grove in years. Her self-imposed exile has a lot to do with a complicated family history and a desire to forge her own way in the world, and only the very tiniest bit to do with Gareth Blackmore, heir to the most powerful magical family in town, and casual breaker of hearts and destroyer of dreams. But when a spell-casting tournament, for which her family serves as arbiters, approaches, it turns out the pull of tradition, or the truly impressive parental guilt trip that comes with it, is strong enough to bring Emmy back. She's determined to do her familiar duty, spend some quality time with her best friend, Lyndon, and get back to her real life in Chicago. On her first night home, Emmy runs into Talia Avramov, an all-around badass, adept in the arts of divination, who is fresh off a bad breakup with Gareth Blackmore. Talia had let herself be charmed, only to discover that Gareth was also seeing Lyndon Thorne, unbeknownst to either of them. And now she and Lyndon want revenge. Only one question stands. Is Emmy in? But most concerning of all, why can't Emmy stop thinking about the terrifyingly competent, devastatingly gorgeous, wickedly charming Talia Avramov? Registration is required. You can register online at the library website. Instructions to join the Zoom meeting will be emailed to all registrants. For more information, call 703-228-6545. That's on Wednesday, September 21st, from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. This is a virtual event. Our final CBB event is for families. It's called River Ramble, and it's a chance to celebrate World Rivers Day. Join in and follow Gulf Branch down to the Potomac River. You'll make your way along the Donaldson Run Trail and through the neighborhood. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 612-842-D. That's on Saturday, September 24th from 10:30 a.m. to 12 o'clock noon at Gulf Branch Nature Center, 3608 Military Road. Now it's time for 55 Plus News.
Howdy. and welcome to 55 Plus News. Our first 55 Plus event is called Genealogy 101. Meet with other genealogy enthusiasts to learn about your family's roots. It's all done in a fun, friendly atmosphere for sharing information and tools. They meet on the third Tuesday of every month. The group is led by experienced genealogist Eileen Bogendorf. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 911-402-06. That's on Tuesday, September 20th from 11:30 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. at Lubber Run Community Center, 300 North Park Drive. You got to be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Next up, celebrate National Chai Day. Chai means tea in Hindi. You can drink masala chai while learning about its history and cultural relevance with local 55 plus volunteers. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 911-501-07. That's on Wednesday, September 21st from 11 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock noon at Walter Reed Community Center, 2909 16th Street South. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Next up, Rosenwald, Justice Through Education. In 1912, Julius Rosenwald began partnering with black communities to help build about 5,000 schools in the segregated South, including one in Arlington. Dorothy Cantor, president of the Rosenwald Park Campaign, will discuss the legacy of this remarkable collaboration to combat racism with educational opportunity. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 911-400-12, and that's on Thursday, September 22nd from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. You gotta be 55 and up. 55 plus membership is required, and this is a virtual event. Our next event is the Filmmaker Interest Group. Are you interested in doing more with film, either behind or in front of the camera? Well, now is your chance. All levels of experience are welcome to join this interest group, which is led by fellow video enthusiast Nick England. Projects can range from helping film segments on 55 Plus Live to producing an entire short film or documentary. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 911-403-03, and that's on Thursday, September 22nd from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. at Lubber Run Community Center, 300 North Park Drive. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Finally, in 55 plus news, movies at Aurora Hills. Here's a chance to enjoy classic and modern movies at Aurora Hills with your fellow 55 plus friends. The film for September is The Confirmation. It's from 2016 and it's rated PG-13. Here's the gist of it. When a divorced father and his 8-year-old son are about to spend a somewhat predictable weekend together, a valuable toolbox gets stolen. The search for the thieves will soon turn into a true family bonding. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 911-804-04. That's on Friday, September 23rd from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. at Aurora Hills Community Center, 735 18th Street South. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Anyway, that's all I got for 55 plus news.
And now some commentary. Here at Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News, we cannot help noticing Arlington's diminishing efforts concerning the COVID situation. Despite posted statements on their website, updates are not always reported at consistent intervals, and for some weeks they are not provided at all. This cannot be attributed to the idea that new cases have decreased to levels below those at the beginning of the pandemic. There were 433 new cases reported for the past week, compared to the data from April 2020, which was as follows. On March 9th, 2020, the first COVID-19 case in Arlington was announced. Reports as of Saturday, April 4th, indicated that the number of confirmed COVID cases in Arlington was 181. Reports as of Monday, April 13th, indicated that the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Arlington was 390. 433 cases last week is more than 390 cases in the entire first month. We have faithfully reported on the COVID cases and vaccinations every week, but we can only relay the information that the county provides. Also, 3 county board candidates recently expressed their views on the proposed missing middle zoning changes. The discussion took place at the annual Candidates Forum, hosted by the Arlington County Civic Federation. The 2-year Missing Middle study is entering a final phase of community discussion and is expected to go to the Planning Commission and County Board for consideration as early as this year. The Civic Federation recently passed a resolution saying that residents need more negotiating power during upzoning and land use proposal proceedings. As for the candidates, incumbent Matt DeFerranti said he supports the construction of low-density units up to a point. He went on to tell the Federation that, and we quote, "Your input has led me to oppose 8-plexes as not being worth the cost. Your input has led me to tier the ideas so that the smallest lots would have duplexes, and as you get to the largest plots, more density would be allowed." Challenger Adam Theo said he is a huge fan of Missing Middle because, and we quote, "It's not about squeezing the middle class anymore, of allowing opportunities, options, and housing types." Challenger Audrey Clement expressed her opposition to the Missing Middle, describing it as, quote, "a scheme to rezone Arlington's residential neighborhoods for much higher density multi-family dwellings," unquote. She said that will keep housing types out of reach for anyone not making 6 figures. None of the candidates, however, pronounced the plan to be just right. Here at Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News, we have 2 observations to make. First, with the county board possibly considering the Missing Middle review before the end of 2022, and the fact that the winner of the November election will not take office until January 2023, the election may have no effect on the future of the Missing Middle decision. Second, we would remind our viewers and listeners that the county has already entered into an agreement with Amazon that some 25,000 new, high-paying jobs are to be brought into Arlington. Even if work was given to Arlington's currently unemployed population, there would still be over 20,000 new positions to fill, and these new employees will need to live somewhere. Even if the Missing Middle plan is not adopted, it seems inevitable that some other plan will be used to fit the increased number of people into Arlington's limited 26 square miles. In a recent article, Arl Now compared the situation to the story of Goldilocks, in which a solution was being sought that would be just right. Our perspective is that it's not so much a fairy tale as a kind of Dr. Seuss story, which we would call the Missing Middle Muddle, with the prospect of a happy ending very much in doubt.
And that concludes this week's show. We will be back next week with more news from Arlington. Meanwhile, be careful, be safe, and be well.
Great to be in Arlington.